A bow requires muscle, but a crossbow requires engineering. And here's the terrifying part. The crossbow allowed an ordinary peasant to take down an armored knight, someone who dedicated his entire life to war, with a single trigger pull. We're looking at 8 of the most important crossbow designs in history, from ancient bronze triggers to mechanical monsters that tore through steel like paper. Because these were not just weapons, they were the moment war became mechanized. 1. Gastraphetes, the belly bow. The story begins in ancient Greece with the Gastraphetes. The name literally means belly bow. Why? Because arm strength alone wasn't enough to draw it. You had to brace the weapon against the ground and lean your entire body weight into it to cock the bow. The engineering concept was simple but brilliant, storing energy. With a normal bow, your arms shake as you hold the draw, making it hard to aim. But with the Gastraphetes, the energy was locked in place. No trembling arms, no fatigue, just pure stored power, waiting for the trigger. And that is how the age of mechanical warfare began. 2. Ancient Chinese crossbow, bronze trigger. The Greeks had the idea, but the Chinese turned it into a technology. The secret wasn't the bow itself, it was the bronze trigger mechanism. This was a precise locking system made of interlocking components designed for mass production. And that meant one thing: standardization. The Chinese army could equip thousands of soldiers with weapons of the same range and power, regardless of their physical strength. For a commander, the decisive factor was no longer the soldier's skill, but the quality of the engineering. Individual heroism was dying. Industrial warfare had begun. 3. Repeating Chinese crossbow, Chu-ko-nu. Power is impressive, but sometimes speed is even more terrifying. Chinese engineers asked a different question. We don't have to pierce armor. What if we simply drown the enemy in arrows? And so the Chu-ko-nu was born. Thanks to the top-mounted magazine, a single lever motion would cock the bow, load the bolt, and fire. Yes, the range was short. The penetration was weak. But you could not stop 10 bolts flying at you in seconds. This weapon wasn't designed for the perfect shot. It was designed for psychological pressure. It was the ancestor of the machine gun. 4. Medieval wooden crossbow. Now we move to Europe, the Middle Ages. Here, the crossbow transformed into a weapon of patience. It looked like a simple wooden stock, but it changed the rules of war. A normal archer gets tired holding a bow at full draw. He can only aim for a few seconds. But a crossbowman? He could wait for hours behind a castle wall, weapon cocked and ready. No fatigue, no rush. The moment the enemy revealed his helmet, one click was enough. This weapon took warfare away from skill and turned it into cold, calculated hunting. 5. Steel prod crossbow. As armor improved, wood wasn't enough. The solution was obvious: steel. Replacing wooden limbs with steel turned the weapon into a compact monster. Steel was stiffer, releasing its energy over a much shorter distance. This was no longer an arrow, it was a mechanical bullet. It could punch straight through chainmail and plate armor. For the noble knights, the nightmare had begun. Because years of training didn't matter anymore. If the untrained soldier across from you held a steel crossbow, the game was over. 6. Windlass crossbow. Steel prods became so stiff that human strength couldn't cock them. Engineers found a solution: the windlass. This pulley system used the physics of leverage. A soldier could wind the mechanism and load hundreds of pounds of tension, something impossible with bare hands. Yes, it took 30 seconds to load. It was slow. But when that single shot fired, no shield could stop it. This design sacrificed speed for pure destructive power. 7. Cranequin crossbow. The windlass was powerful, but bulky. In battle, mobility mattered. That's where the Cranequin came in. It worked like a modern mechanical jack, using gears. Small, lightweight, and most importantly, usable on horseback. It multiplied the soldier's strength through gear ratios, allowing him to cock a massive steel prod with minimal effort. You no longer needed a castle wall. With this mechanism in your pocket, you were a tank on the move. 8. Arbalest. And at the top of the list, the Arbalest. Calling this simply a weapon is an insult. This was portable artillery. The bolts were so thick and heavy that the goal wasn't just penetration, it was destruction. When a heavy object accelerates, it becomes nearly impossible to stop. Arbalest bolts shattered shields, crushed armor, and slammed the man behind it into the ground. This weapon proved one thing: courage matters in war, but physics always wins. These 8 designs prove that history evolved from muscle power to machine power. Engineering changed the battlefield forever. But if you were in the middle of a medieval war, which one would you trust? The rapid fire of the Chu-ko-nu or the armor-piercing power of the steel crossbow? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe to keep exploring the engineering of history. See you in the next one.